The Mysterious Death of Edgar Allan Poe, What Killed the Master of Horror. On the morning of October 3, 1849, a printer named Joseph Walker found a man lying outside Gunner's Hall Tavern in Baltimore, Maryland. The man was semi-conscious, confused, and unable to explain his situation. He was wearing clothes that didn't fit him and that he apparently had not been wearing when he left Richmond, Virginia 6 days earlier. Walker knew who the man was. He was Edgar Allan Poe, one of the most famous writers in America. Walker sent word to a doctor. Poe was taken to Washington College Hospital. He never left it. For 4 days, Poe alternated between delirium and semi-lucid periods. He called out repeatedly for a man named Reynolds. No one who knew Poe could identify who Reynolds was. He suffered hallucinations. He trembled. He was unable to sit up or care for himself. The attending physician, Dr. John Moran, later published accounts of Poe's final days, though historians have noted that Moran's accounts conflict with each other in various details. On October 7, 1849, Edgar Allan Poe died. He was 40 years old. The cause of death was recorded as phrenitis, inflammation of the brain, or congestion of the brain, depending on the source. The missing 6 days between Poe's departure from Richmond and his discovery in Baltimore are the core of the mystery. He left Richmond on September 27th with a trunk containing his belongings. The trunk arrived in Baltimore, but Poe apparently did not. No confirmed account of his whereabouts during those 6 days has ever been established. He checked into a hotel in Baltimore on September 28th, was seen briefly, and then disappeared until he was found delirious on October 3rd. What happened in Baltimore during those 5 days remains unknown. The most enduring popular theory for Poe's death is alcoholism. Poe was known to have alcohol problems, and some accounts suggest he was in a tavern district when found. However, Dr. Moran noted that Poe showed no signs of alcohol on his breath or in his demeanor that was consistent with severe intoxication. The unusual clothes, the delirium, the specific symptoms including trembling and hallucinations, and the 5-day gap are all difficult to explain through alcohol poisoning alone. The alcoholism theory is the simplest, but may not be the most accurate. In 1996, Dr. R. Michael Benitez proposed that Poe died of rabies. Benitez noted that Poe's symptoms, delirium, hallucinations, trembling, and inability to swallow water, alternating periods of lucidity and confusion, are consistent with the furious form of rabies encephalitis. Rabies was not diagnosable by 19th century medicine. Its incubation period of weeks to months would explain why Poe showed no initial symptoms of being bitten. The absence of hydrophobia, fear of water, in Moran's account, is the main complication, though not all rabies cases present this symptom. The rabies theory has been taken seriously by medical historians. A second credible theory is cooping, a 19th century election fraud practice in which gangs would kidnap individuals, force them to vote multiple times at different polling stations under different names, and sometimes supply them with alcohol or drugs to keep them compliant. Poe died on October 7th, Election Day in Baltimore. His discovery near a tavern that was used as a polling place, wearing clothes not his own, in a confused and disoriented state, is consistent with someone who had been co-opted. The practice is documented. Whether Poe was a victim of it is unverifiable. Other proposed causes have included carbon monoxide poisoning, heavy metal poisoning from contaminated food or medicine, and hypoglycemia. Each has some evidentiary support and significant problems. The fundamental issue is that the medical records from Washington College Hospital are lost. Moran's accounts are contradictory. No autopsy findings have survived. The diagnosis of congestion of the brain, or phrenitis, was used in the 19th century as a catch-all for unexplained neurological death. It tells us nothing about what actually happened. The mystery is permanent. Edgar Allan Poe spent his life writing about premature burial, mysterious deaths, revenge from beyond the grave, and the horror that lies at the boundary between sanity and madness. His own death has all the characteristics of a Poe story: the mysterious stranger found in disarray, the unexplained gap in time, the delirious calls for an unknown Reynolds, the unhelpful diagnosis, the lost records. He created the genre of the detective story. His own death remains a detective story without a solution. That symmetry either makes it beautiful or deeply ironic, depending on how you look at it.